Hi, it's Jane here from craftwithjayne.co.uk, and today I'm bringing you my dome gift box, which I just think is really sweet. It is a two-tone dome gift box, and I have not made this before, and I got my inspiration from two places. I actually got my original project idea from Crafty Jojo, a demonstrator that made these cute little two-tone dome boxes for a wedding shower. I think you'll find her video possibly still on YouTube. It's probably about 5 years old. She used to be a Stampin' Up demonstrator in the United States. I don't think she has done it for quite a few years. And she made it out of two forms of cardstock like this, and she did it as wedding favours. And also my very good friend Sally from Sally Stampers, she did a similar version as well. I think she did this sort of a version just slightly bigger. I needed mine for a gift, and the gift is a makeup palette, so I needed mine to be a bit more of a squat rather than quite so dome-like. So I have changed the measurements a little bit to fit my makeup palette. I needed it to be 3 by 3, and then I'm going to put some other little bits like a lipstick and things like that in with the bronzer palette, and a few other little bits in there just as a little gift for somebody. So I'll wrap it up in some coordinating tissue and then pop it in there. So that is the inspiration for my project today, and I really hope you enjoy it. So the paper that I'm using for this project is the Country Floral Lane Designer Series paper. It is absolutely gorgeous. It's got hearts on it, and it's got some beautiful floral patterns, and the backs are quite good plainish patterns, but with, like, you've got hearts on these as well here. And then you've got this gorgeous one here for bikes. I'm going to Amsterdam for my birthday celebration, so I'll probably be making some projects with this when I come back. So I'll be inspired hopefully by the flowers and the bikes. And there's hearts there as well, and this gorgeous stripe pattern here, which is definitely going to be handy for Valentine's Day cards. So this is my mint macaron, and it measures 10.5 inches by 3 3/4, and I'm going to use my trimmer to score today, and I'm going to score at 3/8 of an inch, which is just here. And then I'm going to score it at 3 3/8 of an inch, which is just here. Then I'm going to score the long side at 3 3/4 and at 6 3/4. There we go. So the halfway point on here, you need to add in your 3/8 of an inch. So when you're doing it, you'll take it to your 1.5, and then you'll move it forward your 3/8. So it takes it to 1 7/8, and you find your halfway point. So 1 7/8, you find your halfway point. Then you take your scoring tool, and you've got a bar on the side here, and you just simply move it down to the 1.5, and you just score it back up. And you repeat that on both ends of your box, of your piece of cardstock. So I'm just going to bring in my designer series paper. So this measures 3 by 10.5, and I'm going to score this one at 3 3/4, so similar score marks on the long side, and then I'm going to score it at 6 3/4, just like this. And now this one is a bit easier because you know it's 3, so it's 1.5. You take it to the 1.5, and then you're going to do exactly what you've just done. You're going to move the scorer until you get to that 1.5, and then just score back, and then repeat that again. So take your scorer to the 1.5, gently press down, and just score it back up, and you have your score lines just there and there. Super. So I'm going to take my trimmer away, and I'm going to need to get out my ruler and my stylus, because I'm going to need to make some extra score marks here now. So first of all, I'm going to find the end point, which of my score mark, which is just here, and then I'm going to score up to the corners. I'll just do that on both ends of this designer series paper. So if I turn this over, you'll be able to see a bit better possibly. I've got a score line going there and there now as well. And I'm going to repeat that at the end of the box just here. So both ends, I'll take it to the end and then score it coming up, and then I'll just make sure I'm at my end again and score it coming up, just like that. Lovely. So now I'm gonna, while I've got this one here, I'll just get my bone folder out and I'll just make my score just there, and I'll do the same just here. So I've actually picked the same paper for this one because I love it so much. So I'm gently going to bend this score line in and try and gently push these two score lines out a little bit, just like this, until I can bring them together. And when I bring them together, I'm just gently going to use my fingers to squeeze this score line just here. There we go. And that's sort of, I'm going to do the same on the other end of the box. So I'm going to bring this one in and try and gently coax these two out a little bit. And then I'm going to bring them in like that. And then inside, I'm going to just use my fingers. And that's sort of the pattern that you end up with then. And then I'm going to use my bone folder. Oh, sorry, I'll do my score lines on here. So very similar, but I'm going to score from this end just here for the 1.5 inches, but to the first score line. And I'll repeat that on all of both ends. So both sides. There we go. I'll just bring this one up to the camera for you to see. You see that I've got a nice arrow there, triangle, and I'll do exactly the same just here. So to the end, and then just like that. And then I'll do the same just here. Lovely. Okay, so I'm going to use my bone folder again. So I'll do these side pieces first. And then I'll do my inner pieces. I'll do some trimming on this one, then we need to. So I'm going to cut away the middle piece, and I'm going to trim along here. I'm going to take a really deep trim along there, because these bits are going to form, going to need to be glued in. And then I'm going to trim here and there. I will lay this flat for you so you can see the templates. There we go. And then I'm going to bring this in and I'm going to trim this away, because this is going to create the bottom of the box. So we don't need these side bits for this section. There you go, like that. And I'll do exactly the same. Oops, I trimmed that one very well. Okay. And I'm going to do exactly the same on this one just here. So I'm just going to cut up here so I get a nice sharp edge to do my gluing. Okay. So if I try and lay this flat for you before I do any more burnishing. So that is one of your, and there's the other. Okay. So that is basically what it's meant to look like. So now, like I did with these just here, I'm going to tease these ready. So I'm going to be bringing that one in and these two gently out. So if I do this folding, we're going to use the center point. Because this is cardstock, it's a little bit tougher to do. Just be gentle with it, because you can rip it. Oops, and then I'm just going to press in like that. So there we go, I've got that one there, and I'm going to do exactly the same. So we know that one goes in and these go out. So same principle, I'm just gently going to bring that in like this, and then I'm going to just squeeze. There we go. Okay, so before we do any gluing, I know that we're going to need to thread some ribbon through, so I do need to make some little holes. go. So we've got our holes there. Right, now we're going to do some gluing. So you can choose if you want your pattern on the inside or the outside. I quite like mine on the outside, so I'm going to glue mine on the outside. I'm actually going to use some tear and tape. You can decide whatever you would like to use. People use wet glue. Wet glue is very effective. It does have some time to dry though, so because we're doing a video, I just feel like the best thing for the video will be to do it by tape, so we can be a bit quick and you don't have to wait for the drying time. However, I think wet glue works really effectively for these projects, especially a 3D project like this. I might do a couple of extra strips going through the centre as well, just like that, and hope that's got enough staying power for us to stick. I'll get my pick tool out and I'll just pick away at these. I think this is a really cute project. I hope that you guys like it. It's sort of a little bit of a different gift box, isn't it? I do love my 3D projects. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy them as well. So I'm going to do my best now. I'm going to fold this, I think, this way, just for this bit. And I'm going to do my best to try and line these up as best that I can, because I really kind of want them to, that's it, and press it down. And I kind of hope, now that does look like it's going to be, and if I bring this up, you can sort of see how the box is going to go. So yeah, okay, that's okay, I'm good with that. Right, so next I'm going to put my tear and tape on these little bits here. Now, I might have to glue over and then I will trim them, because I kind of need the tape to go as close to the edge as possible. There we go. So do that on, oops, all of these. And then I will pick the front off and then sort of bend them over on each other so that they don't stick anywhere they're not meant to. So if I kind of pick this off, hopefully what I'll do is I'll just bring this over if there's any excess. There you go. And then I'll do that with all of them, and then hopefully, and this would make a great birthday present, but you can use it for a Valentine's gift as well. I think the papers work really well. Okay, so now I'm going to try and get this all lined up so that the paper really goes nicely to that edge. And I'm going to make sure I use my bone folder to burnish it down just like that. Okay, and then I'll do the same on this side. Just going to burnish that one in as well, and then I'm going to do the other side, which try my best to get it straight. Looks good. I'm going to burnish this one, and then we've got this last one to see if we can get this nice and straight on here. There we go. Okay, and then burnish that one in, so we've got good sticking power. And then I'm going to try to bend my, oops, bend it in. There we go. So that is sort of our shape, and that is how the box, the gift box, looks. So next thing is I need to thread my ribbon. So I'm actually going to use some of the metallic, I've got a little bit of this left. So this is the Simply Elegant trim, and I love it. The reason I'm using it is because it's got quite a nice sturdiness to it, but I do need to trim it sometimes as well. So I'm going to start off by going in. I know that I want to have my knot coming out by the cardstock just because of the thickness. So I'm going to start on one side and hopefully end on the other. And then we just keep threading this through all of these tiny little holes that I've made. Now when I'm doing this, I do sometimes need to trim thread as well, just a little bit, to be able to get it through. There we go. I think I'm gonna have to trim it. You can see it's got a tiny bit frayed. Just makes it a bit easier. Sometimes I've got to trim it nearly every one, and that sometimes can happen. There we go. I do love this trim. It's got sort of a rigidity to it that just helps with threading. Now, if you were going to use a really loose one, you can actually use a needle and thread it through. So if you are going to use a rigid, soft thread, you can actually use a needle to thread it through. So here we go. Last one, we're going to make it through. There we go. Lovely. Okay, so now I'm going to gently close the box back up just like this, and I'm going to pull my thread. So there we go. And I'm going to try and make a little knot and see if I can pull it any tighter. Okay, so, there we go. And then I'll just try and knot that off to get it nice and tight, like that. There we go. There we go. So that is the gift box knotted shut. So it is something you'd probably need to sort of, to get into it, you're going to need to cut it, which is fine. Cut the ribbon, which I'm happy with, because it's not something I expect them to reuse again. And I'll just try and make a cute little bow if it'll let me. My bow's a little bit drunk, but that's fine. I'm good with a slightly drunk bow. And you can see the box looks really beautiful. And it's got quite a nice sort of depth to it. There's not too much cardstock inside or paper inside to stop the using up the depth of the box nicely, so it's good. So for the decoration on the box, I have used this gorgeous new stamp set and coordinating dies called Love For You, or Love For You bundle, and it's got amazing stamp set, and it's got these fabulous dies with these like outline dies as well. You can stamp and cut them out, or you can use the words here. So on this one, I've stamped it and die cut it, but on the one that I'm going to do for you, I've actually used some of the cardstock to cut out fine for you, and then I've used the layering piece just here, but I haven't used the big layering piece because I thought it was a bit too heavy for this project. And I've used some of the flowers, and I've used the die shapes to cut the flowers out as well. So I will get a little bit of my Tombow multi-purpose liquid glue out. So I've just bent it a little bit, and to follow the curve of the project, and I'm going to put a tiny bit of glue just on the back of here, and then I'll pop this on the project about here. And I'll just try and keep it straight, and I'm just going to hold it while it dries. Now I'm going to do the same with the four. I'm just going to bend it, and this says For You. I do love this. And again, I'm just going to lay some of the glue on the back of here. I will put my 4 in place as well. So I'm going to put that about here. So it says For You. And I'll try and hold that one on as well. So that's allowed a little bit of time for that to dry, and next I'm going to put my flowers on. So I have stamped and die cut out 2 flowers. This is in Sweet Sorbet, this is in Petal Pink, and these are some of the colours. Also obviously the mint macaron as well. They're the coordinating colours in this designer series paper that I have picked out. So I'm going to use my Stampin' Dimensionals because everyone knows I love a Stampin' Dimensional. I'm just going to pop them slightly coming off at the edge a little bit, just like that, and I'll pop one just coming to the side of it a little bit. There we go. quite like how that looks. And then I will pop some of these gorgeous iridescent pearls in. So I've got some in the center and one off to the side, and I think I'm going to do the same here. So these are very similar projects. All I've really done is swap the colours around a tiny bit with regards to the flowers, and one of them I've stamped the sentiment, the other one I've used the die cut for the sentiment. So that is just, oops, there you go, in the centre, and then a tiny little one just down here. I just think it adds a little va-va-voom. So these are the completed dome gift boxes. I do think they're really sweet, and I think they could be used for lots of different projects. So you could send them for Valentine's as a thank you gift, as a birthday present, or just as anything really. These were designed, this sort of shape and size was designed specifically for me to gift some makeup to somebody as a little gift. And yeah, I think the box is going to fit in there beautifully. So I've got like a little makeup palette and some lipsticks and things like that to pop in there. So I'll wrap it up in some coordinating tissue paper, and I think that hopefully should be well received. I've really enjoyed using this paper, and it's the first time that I've used the Love For You stamp set and dies, and they are delightful. I cannot recommend them enough. If you're interested in purchasing any of the products that I've shown today and you don't already have a Stampin' Up demonstrator, please do consider me. I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in the UK. I can sell to any of the countries within Europe that Stampin' Up sells products in. So please do bear me in mind. I always send out a thank you pack after people have ordered with me, and it's normally within a week or so of you ordering, certainly by the beginning of the following month. So yeah. Please do follow the links below to my shop if you would like to purchase any of the products from me. Okay, I'm going to say bye for now, guys, and happy crafting.